Hey everybody, Concept Art House is a high-end art service provider for the gaming industry. The company was started over 12 years ago by Zhang, who started off as an artist but then was able to successfully transition himself into being a business person and now the CEO of the company. The company has a great reputation but best known for their concept art, their illustration work, and their 3D art capabilities. In addition, Concept Art House has worked on some of the industry's biggest game titles, such as Marvel Contest of Champions, Fortnite, Injustice, and Clash of Clans. So how did the company get started? What were some of the tough challenges that the company faced as it was developing over those 12 years? What do different people in the company do? Well, let's find out today when we talk to Concept Art House. James, how's it going?
Hey Joe, what's up? Good seeing you. Good seeing you.
Yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to do our interview, but we are here with James, the CEO of Concept Art House.
Hello.
Maybe we could start by just having you talk about, so who are you, and tell us a little bit more about Concept Art House.
Okay, I'm James. I'm the founder and CEO of Concept Art House. We're a high-end art, concept art studio based out of San Francisco, California, and out of Shanghai, China.
And at a high level, what are the types of work that you do here at Concept Art House?
Okay, we do concept art, illustration, 3D modeling, and marketing art. We primarily serve the games industry, about 70% mobile, do a lot of PC games, console games, a bunch of names you guys probably heard of, like World of Warcraft and Marvel Contest of Champions. We did some work for Fortnite, so it's a really good time to be in games.
Yeah, and you've got this office here in San Francisco, but you're also kind of distributed, right? Can you talk about like number of employees and the types of people, from like artists to like producers or PMs and things of that nature?
Yeah. So we're 15 people here in San Francisco. We have over 70 people between our two offices in Shanghai and Chengdu. And I'm Shanghainese, so started the company there about 12 years ago, and fully loaded. We're mostly artists, about 80% art, 2D, 3D.
James, you got a lot of cool stuff here.
Thank you.
Did you work on a lot of this stuff? Or?
Some of these are just my personal toys, but many of the shelves are things we've worked on over the years. Yeah. And I've been drawing since I was a kid, like many people in the industry. And our first projects as Concept Art House were Dungeons and Dragons from Wizards of the Coast. So I actually personally have art in like almost all of these books.
Wow.
Yeah. Before that, I started my career 20 years ago at LucasArts, and I was a concept artist for games like Gladius and Starfighter, and that's represented on this shelf down here. So
very cool.
Cover art, concept art, spaceships, monsters, all things nerd.
Right. And then can you talk to me about, so how did Concept Art House start? Like, when did it start? Okay. What led you to founding the company? And, how did you just even get it started and initially funded?
Okay. I started the Concept Art House in 2006.
Okay.
And it was pretty much bootstrapped. I had a small team of artists that were super talented out of Shanghai.
Right.
I had a bunch of clients that wanted to work with me as a concept artist.
Yeah.
And I only had so much bandwidth, and my clients were okay with me sending some of the work to Shanghai. And at the time, a lot of my clients were like EA and Sony and Lucas. It was, it was really hard work. I was drawing by day, I was doing art direction at night. I had some good teams, and we slowly grew the team. I eventually learned to be a little more better at business and raised some money from some angel investors that trusted me. Yeah. And slowly we ballooned the team. Started off with 6 people, and by 2012 we're 130.
Wow. So James, the company's been around since 2006. It's been a long time, and you guys have done a great job of just kind of surviving different, economic challenges and changes. But for your company, could you talk about some of the key challenges? Like, what were some of the toughest times over this long run that you've had here at Concept Art House?
Got it. I'd say probably 2 biggest challenges. The biggest one is probably myself, figuring out how to transition from an artist to an art director. That was pretty natural. Right. I know art.
Yeah.
And then the next transition was to go from being an art director to managing people.
Yeah.
And then managing investors.
Right.
They did not train me for that in art school. So that was really painful. And then when we got to 100 people, I'm managing people. I'm not doing art. I'm trying to learn more about business. That was really tough.
Right.
How do you negotiate certain things, legal issues, all these little things that I did have mentors help me along the way. But yeah, it was like stress management. How do you prioritize your time? Those kinds of things were big challenges for me that I still struggle with to this day.
Got it.
But I'd like to think I'm better now dealing with those than I did 10 years ago.
Okay.
Second challenge are more external forces. A lot of competitors.
Yeah.
A lot of really good art studios out there.
Right.
And also sometimes when card games were really good to us 4 years ago, yay, they all came to us.
Right.
Concept Art House,
Yep.
did a lot of 2D work for them. Eventually those games went away.
Right.
We had to find a new way to, well, what else were we going to do when the clients went away, right? When the market started going down. So we had to find new clients and pivot the business here and there.
Right.
So I'd say those are the two biggest challenges. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then you talked about on the internal side, your own personal growth and development from concept artist to being, quite frankly, very sophisticated on the business side. Like,
Thank you.
how were you able to actually make that transition?
Well, it's definitely not like, I'm going to level up a business today. It was really like, it's sink or swim, man.
Right,
and
right,
you
right.
start off with 6 people, you know everybody's names. And the better we got, the more people we had, the less drawing I just naturally did. I think any good art director will probably share the same story.
Right.
At some point, your team comes before you, and then
Right.
you're doing more things for the team.
Right.
I'd like to think the eye is still sharp, but you draw less and less and less.
Right.
And then, I'll tell you, what I tell people is, when you're an artist, it's really about the self. Everything you draw is like, look at my sketchbook, look at my art. No one else did that art except you.
Right.
When you're a business person, everything is about the market and everything is about other people.
Right.
So then it's about what your clients want, what your
Right.
investors want, what your partners want, what your employees want. That was a tough transition.
Right.
Because art was so instinctive for me. I'm going to draw this,
Yeah.
and then business is like, what does that person need in this market, and how can we help each other so the company grows? So,
Right.
so it was gradual, and it was really about talking and meeting with people that are way smarter and more talented than me, and learning from each one of them.
Got it.
Honestly.
Yeah. And then on the external side, you had talked about how you've had to adapt to different market forces and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So maybe we could talk about that. So from
Sure.
your perspective, right now, what do you see as emerging trends or things that are coming up in terms of the market in the future?
Wow, big question. You just go right straight for it, huh? Well, we're at GDC 2019.
Yep.
I think one of the bigger announcements was Google Stadia.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I think everything in entertainment right now, trends, it's streaming, it's instant gratification. We're in the world of Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
That is going to come in the form of gaming too.
Right.
A lot of Quibi, for example, with Meg Whitman and Steve Katzenberg, it's about bite-sized entertainment, right?
Okay.
Quick bites.
Right.
Many games are going towards how can you get a great entertainment experience for 3 minutes, 5 minutes.
Right.
Okay, so we see that too with a lot of the games we work on.
Yeah.
A lot of the role-playing games we used to play, like Baldur's Gate, those are something like, you sit down, you play for hours on end.
Right.
Now you have to get a tiny little story in about 3 minutes, at 5 minutes, and
Right.
monetize the audience because of that.
Right.
So we're seeing that as a trend.
Got it.
Okay. Another area is production values.
Yeah.
Streaming speeds are faster than ever.
Right.
Right. So you're going to see a lot of different platform players getting into, higher production values. Mobile games when we started was a few $100,000.
Yep.
Now it's not unheard of to have a $40 million mobile game.
Right.
So that is good to us in terms of art. More
Right.
assets, better assets.
Got it. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, James.
Okay.
Hey folks, I'm here with Davis, the Director of Business Development for Concept Art House. Davis, I thought we could start by talking about, some of your biggest clients. Over the years, Concept Art House has had, extremely, big clients that have done really impressive work. Can you talk about that? Like, who are some of these clients and what's some of the work that you're most proud of?
Certainly. Certainly as long as Concept Art House has been around as a company for the last 12 years, We definitely skew more mobile,
Yep.
just for the luxury of being based in San Francisco and having Apple, Google, and Facebook in our backyard.
Yeah.
So I would say the breakdown is about 70% mobile and 30% console and PC focused projects.
Yeah.
But of course, projects near and dear to my heart are 2K, WB, and as well some of our big work with Blizzard, because I think Hearthstone is still my #1 game.
Right.
So
Now, I know in terms of the concept art, there's stuff that you're doing now for projects that you can't talk about, although I know they're really huge projects. But in terms of stuff that you can talk about, are there specific games that you guys have worked on in the past that you can talk about?
certainly, right now in terms of where we're talking in 2019,
Yeah.
Game of Thrones Conquest is getting a lot of buzz.
Okay.
And that's a project that actually was a lesson for me when I was first brought on board, of understanding the differences in art styles. I don't have an art background myself, but understood the industry pretty well.
Yeah.
And utilizing a project like that where a client came to us and said, we're trying to figure out the look and feel of this game while also trying to blaze our own path of making it unique and still invoke the IP. Game of Thrones Conquest had us challenged with finding different styles of art across a scope of whether it was very cartoony, very realistic, and somewhere in the middle. The style you see now in all the commercials and the game itself is, of course, the finished product. And so certainly knowing that not only people come to us for concepting when it's a blank piece of paper, but also they already have the idea or they already have the IP, and trying to make it their own is a big project, a big path that people come to us for very often.
Hey everybody, I'm here with 3D lead and project manager Sean.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Sean, can you tell us a little bit about the work you do and your role here at Concept Art House?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a 3D lead and project manager, like you said, mainly working with clients and our artists to make sure that the work that they're wanting to get done gets done correctly. So my main focus is to work with PMs as well as just kind of being that middleman between being able to make sure the client's happy as well as make sure the artists are doing the correct work with with the technical specs in 3D.
And are you responsible for hiring here or like evaluation of talent? And maybe you could talk about the kinds of people that are hired at Concept Art House and what kind of skills they need to be successful here.
Gotcha, awesome. Yeah, so I am a little bit in charge of that one. I actually have been doing a lot of reviews with some students for GDC. The main focus that we're looking for is, because we are an outsourced company, we're working with a lot of different various clients, different styles, is someone who can kind of have a little bit of talent in every style. Someone that can go from something like World of Warcraft to something more realistic like Ubisoft work and like realistic characters. So, and as well as someone who knows deadlines and is very good with scheduling and is very organized.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, Sean.
Yeah, very nice meeting you guys.
Hey, Xinyi.
Hi.
Senior production manager, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do here at Concept Art House and like maybe an example of one of the projects you've worked on?
Yes, definitely. As a senior production manager, I'm pretty much on the final gatekeeper from Concept Art House and the client. So I'm the person who providing the client the files for them to review.
Okay.
And also I'm tracking how the production team work, like how the workflow and how are we on schedule, are we on target of our estimation time.
Got it.
So all those I would say logistic kind of work.
Almost like project or product management, sounds
Yes.
like. What are some of the tools that you use to track some of that stuff?
Oh, it really depends on the client as well.
I see.
Sometimes we will work with the client on Jira or Shotgun.
Yeah.
A lot of time we use Basecamp.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep. Can you show us an example of a project or how you work with one of your clients?
Yeah, definitely. One of our biggest client is Kaban. Their famous game is
Contest of Champions? Wow, yeah, I recognize that art.
Yes. For this project, we working on a lot of their marketing art, which is like a loading screen or splash screen.
Yeah.
So usually we'll send out a couple of sketches for the clients. And then because this game already have existing 3D models, so the client will providing the models for us, kind of like doing the very rough posting.
Yep.
So for example, in here we start with like 3D model posting and have like some kind of background
Yep.
emerge into it, and then to see how kind of feel clients like. And then after that, we go to the color rough stage. Color rough stage is more like the 3D team helping us putting a lighting on.
Yep.
And then, but then you can still see the 3D, very 3D look. Like
Right,
with the
yeah.
geometries, it's not, especially on the facial expression, you still see that kind of like rough edges.
Yeah.
But now on the color final stage, you can see the facial, especially the nose,
Right.
the muscles, we like toning down, and you can see like how wild renders that our 2D team actually
Yeah, that looks great.
putting into it.
I feel like I'm staring at the mirror right now, but anyway.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite pieces I've been working on. And another great example is sometimes the 3D model doesn't really help us to express kind of the creativities.
Yeah.
So we can only use like a very minimum 3Ds rendering, and
Right.
but then a lot of ideas are pulling from the 2D artists. And then this is kind of the rough color rough stage we put, and you can see there's some 3D work and then some of the 2D render.
Got
And then
it.
towards to the end, there is some much better lighting and emerging together.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, working on Kaban's project is really fun because you see a lot of character you actually
Oh,
already
yeah.
know and
Right,
see
right,
on
right.
movies. So it's very exciting all the time.
And what are some of the big challenges you run into, like working with clients, or if I am somebody looking to, get art from Concept Art House, what are things I should be thinking about or doing in preparation so that the working relationship is as smooth as possible?
There's a couple things to think about. First is like, for example, when we're seeing this image, we're
Yeah.
seeing how beautiful the layout is.
Yeah.
But a lot of time we also need to think about how the UI layouts. Will this
Right.
great image be blocking by the UIs,
Right,
or
right, right.
how we want? Do we really want it to be centered in the image?
Yeah.
So a lot of details we need to go through great communication with the clients,
Yeah.
and also really know what clients want for how the image is to be feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. And then my last question for you, Shanyi, is like, you've been working here for a while. Can you talk about like what do you think in terms of the culture of working at Concept Art House? Can you talk about what that's like?
I mean, this is a great working experience for me because we have we can touch in base in so many different projects. We're not only focusing one style, or all of our great artists over here, they handling 2 to 3 different style, different projects at the same time.
Right.
So in a way, the artist is really skillful on switching their gears, jump into other styles.
Right.
And then for the culture in here, we are really family orientated. So like we see each other like friends and families, and it's really great to see everybody grow in here. And
Yeah.
we have like newborn baby coming in too. So
Yeah.
it's great to work in here. Yeah.
Okay. James, it's been a wonderful time here. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Joe, you're a longtime friend. You're welcome anytime, my friend. Anytime you're in San Francisco, look me up.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.